The entire world is in Milan, literally. The city is currently hosting the Expo 2015, this year's edition of the international exhibition, hosted every 5 years in a different country to promote industrial and technological progress worldwide. More than 140 countries are participating in the World Fair, 50 of which are hosting exhibitions in national pavilions built especially for the occasion. And if the purpose is to build bridges, this year's theme couldn't have been a better choice: food. With Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life as the official motto, the Expo Milan 2015 showcases innovation in food production, but also techniques in the kitchen. The event is set to last until October 2015. Organizers are expecting 20 million people to visit the site over the 6-month period. The Italian government, too, is counting on Milan to generate a significant boost for the country's economy. Our focus this week is on Milan. Hello and welcome to our Focus on Milan, that city that had been chosen to host the 2015 Expo exhibition. For 6 months, Milan will be a global showcase where more than 140 participating countries will show off the best of their technology, offering an answer to a vital need: being able to guarantee healthy, safe and sufficient food for everyone. Now let's hear more from our first guest for today, Piero Gali, a general manager at the Expo, who joins us now from Milan. Hi, Piero. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having invited me.
So how much effort is involved in making such an international exhibition a reality? How many people and how long have you been working on this?
Well, the countries involved are more than 145. They're actually coming from all continents, and I think that the representation is very much even continent by continent. 54 of them actually decided to build their own pavilion, so you might imagine about the effort in defining how, to set up plans, come over here. Some of them, not really much acquainted with the local, let me say, European rules on how to do things here. And it actually takes quite an effort. The people being involved in it depends, because the number of people that have been working within the Expo as an organization were not that much, honestly speaking, because we're talking about 300 people across the time, which took actually 6 months to create. Then we had the number of workers coming from every country and the Italian organizations as well. I can say that in peak moments we had more than 8,000 workers on the site making it happen. The real thing is that there's a large number of people being involved in it, because these are the people that were really involved in building the site. But besides that, you have to take into account also all people who make it happen in terms of service providers, professionals, and people being involved in the touristic organizations, not only Italian but also the international ones that were heavily involved in making the Expo fly.
And how was Milan chosen to host this Expo? What other cities across the world were candidates?
Well, the cities that were candidate were many. I can tell you the ones that came into the final, which were actually 2 in this round, which were Milan and the city of Izmir in Turkey. How
did you choose the main theme for this Expo, Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life? Why food?
2 reasons, I would say. The first one is that food is more and more a cross-international topic for discussion, and it embraces all sort of challenges that the various populations we have to face in the next coming years. The city of Milan, by the way, is living and sitting in a region which is the most agricultural region in Italy, even though Milan is perceived as a financial center of Italy, which it is, and very much advanced in terms of technologies and foreign companies living in there. At the same time, there's a very wide and deep culture around food and nutrition.
Piero Gali, thank you so much for this interview. Maybe we'll visit you there. Who knows?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks to to the Expo exhibition, more than 650 new jobs were created, of which 300 are intended for young people. Representing your country on such an international platform can be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and Claire Moskovits is now going through this special experience as student ambassador at the United States Pavilion. And Claire is now joining us from there. Hey, Claire. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. So what exactly is the Student Ambassador program, which actually brought you to Milan, and where are these students coming from?
Okay, well, the Student Ambassador program represents the best and the brightest of America. We come from 94 universities, 35 states, and collectively we speak 28 languages.
Oh, wow.
I think we're all really excited to be in Milan, to be part of the global discussion on food security.
So basically, you are working at the U.S. Pavilion. What's there to see?
Yeah, so the U.S. Pavilion is trying to represent all of the different approaches that America is taking to creating food security for 9 billion people by 2050. And we really wanted to create a discussion and show that there are so many different approaches to take. We don't have just one policy, one approach, but many that are able to coexist in order to try to solve this problem.
And I guess you have been taking a look already at other countries' pavilions. Just tell us, what highlights should we not miss if we get to visit this Expo exhibition?
Yeah, so I haven't had much of an opportunity to wander around other pavilions yet, but I'm definitely really excited about the Israeli pavilion. We have a lot of similarities and shared approaches to agriculture, I think. We both have vertical farms, which is really exciting. And yeah, that's the only one I've had a chance to take a look at, to be honest, so far.
So how does it feel to be a part of such a huge international exhibition and represent your country?
It's a really exciting time to be in Milan and to get to be at the Expo. It's the first time, I think, in many years that so many countries, I think we have the most countries represented in World's Fair history, coming together to talk about one issue. So it's really a great time to be here.
Claire, thank you so much for this interview. Keep doing a great job.
Thanks for having me.
And now, what else is going on in Milan?
The streets of Milan resembled a battlefield last month, just a few hours after the grand opening of the World Expo. Demonstrators protested against the event and clashed with police, who responded with tear gas. In the planning stages of the event, a corruption investigation saw several top officials of the event arrested. Uber will no longer provide their ride-sharing feature in Italy. A judge in Milan has banned the Uber Pop service, dealing a major blow to the U.S. company's ambitions in Europe. Italian taxi drivers protested against Uber's non-commercial drivers earlier this year over the rise in competition to the country's cab business.
Serve un gran pallone da Mastalli!
AC Milan football team has become the first club in Italy to install a cryogenic chamber for the treatment of injuries. The treatment involves sending players into a room at minus 30 degrees Celsius for 30 seconds, then for 2 minutes into another room at minus 10 to minus 160 degrees Celsius. Real Madrid's Cristiano Ronaldo reportedly has a chamber installed at his home. International fashion brand Prada has opened an art museum in Milan. Developed by the company's Art, Cinema and Philosophy department, the project will promote a fresh wave of young artists in Europe. The venue also features a cafe specially designed by award-winning filmmaker Wes Anderson. Winners of the prestigious World Star Awards gathered in Milan at the Fiera Milano Convention Center to be presented with their awards last week. This year, 265 entries were received from 37 countries. Winners included an Israeli company's retro flower package design and a U.S. company's child-resistant medicine carton.
Milan is of course known for its two football teams, Internazionale and AC Milan, whose players are known as the Rossoneri. AC is one of the wealthiest and most valuable clubs in Italian and world football, and it's owned by former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. Last year, the team renewed its headquarters, called Casa Milan, and inaugurated its new museum, Mondo Milan, which is where our next guest joins us from, Mr. Marco Amato, the museum curator. Hi, Hi, Marco. So what does the museum have to offer to its visitors, and what is the main idea behind its establishment?
The idea of Mrs. Barbara Berlusconi is to realize a new house for our team, an house for the players, but also an house for our supporters, a place where all the team, all the people that work in this club could work, but a place also where the visitor could enter in the legend of AC Milan, especially here in the museum. We are in the temporary room of the Golden Ball that the players give us for this exhibition, and we have another room there, the trophy room, where we have all the official trophies of the club. There are also a lot of technology and other contents that the visitor could see and enter in contact with the team, and is part of a project that would like to open to all the visitors and supporters.
And we heard that the exhibition involves new technological methods. Can you tell us about it?
I have in my hands this wristband. It's an RFID wristband system that allows all the visitors to connect to the content of the museum. At the entrance, we register each visitor and put a connection of this wristband with an email. During the visit, all the visitors could vote the object that they find inside the museum. Could be object of the past of the Milan, a shirt, a pair of boots, but also the trophies that they like. There is a system that allows to count all the votes and shoot a picture to each visitor. At the end of the visit, you receive an email with all the objects that you vote, all the trophy, all the shirts, and the object that you like, and also your picture. So you have a kind of virtual tour at your home in your PC to see what you like. And for us, it's an instrument to know what the people prefer.
Well, you know, Rossoneri fans can be found not only in Milan, but all over the world, also here at I24 News, I should say. Where are you mostly getting visitors from, and what do they find the biggest attraction there?
At the moment, we have a lot of European, for sure, that come from Holland, Spain, Germany, and all the Balkanic area that fall in love, for sure, of the trophy room, this big room where we have the replica of the UEFA Champions League in high dimension, 3 meters high, and so is a kind of totem for all the visitors. The other visitors that come from the Far East, from China, Korea, Japan, for sure love a lot the technology of the museum, and so the possibility to enter in contact with the contents, the history and the statistics of the players in the screens, with the wristband, voting, giving their impression. The other part of the supporters that come from the South America, Brazilian, Venezuelan, Colombia supporter of AC Milan, likes a lot the emotion of the object, the memorabilia, the shirts, the ancient part of the wear of the street, of the clothes of the players that wear on the field really, and so are the real part of our history and the history of the club.
Marco, thank you so much for this interview, and Forza Milan! And finally, you can't do a show about Milan without mentioning the local cuisine, right? I Malavoglia is a restaurant in the city named after the best-known novel of the Italian author Giovanni Verga, which tells the story of a family of fishermen. And the chef of this restaurant, Livio Casso, is now with us from Milan. Hi, Livio.
Ciao.
Hello, good, thank you.
Tell us a bit about your restaurant and your specialties there.
Allora, il ristorante Malavoglia è un ristorante.
So the restaurant I Malavoglia is a traditional Sicilian restaurant, but we interpret Sicilian cuisine in a contemporary, more modern manner. Our dishes represent the heart of the Mediterranean. Among them, fish is really representative of the tradition of southern Italian cuisine, so our specialties are mostly fish, but we also have pasta alla norma and sarde beccofico, which are a Sicilian tradition. We reinterpret this in a lighter, more modern way.
And, you know, sometimes when tourists get to visit Italy and taste the Italian food there, they say that Italian food in Italy is much different than the Italian food they tasted before in their home countries. How come?
È molto differente, molto differente.
It's very different because of the raw ingredients. A lot of products cannot grow outside of Italy because the weather conditions and soil are not the same. In addition, many Italian products cannot be transported over a long period of time. For example, the Bonte pistachio, which is found in the region surrounding the Etna, is a pistachio that has an incredible taste. Another example are Sicilian fruits which cannot grow or be transported outside of Italy. It is not possible at all, but everything changes from chef to chef. Italian food in the US is very different than Italian food in Holland or Spain. Each chef interprets their own way. Despite that, they cannot recreate the same flavors as in Italy.
It seems that being a waiter in Italy has much more prestige and significance than in other places. How do you explain that?
Yes, when we go to the restaurant, we don't just go to eat. We look for the experience. Service is part of that experience. The waiter assists you and explains how to eat the dish he serves you. All this is an experience that only the waiter can offer and not the chef.
Chef Livio, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you again. Goodbye.
Ciao. And thank you all for focusing with us on Milan. This last interview made one anchor very hungry, so I will be going. Keep following us next time. See you soon.